सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की जय। I welcome you back to the academy again. We've been having in between some lessons and workshops on Shiva Sutra, and but now that they are over, I'll be able to surely give more time to the academy. Now, the question we have to now concentrate on is, where should we focus our concentration during meditation? Remember, the main aim of meditation should be the communication with the ultimate. That should be your main aim of meditation. Nowadays, we have various other reasons. For health, we do, as prayers, we do. Of course, but the main reason is you should try and do it to communicate with the ultimate. So, normally, when I meditate, I install my Guru's charan in my Sahasrar, and I worship them. Normally, I offer some, first I pour some little water on it, and then I wipe them gently, and then I apply some chandan, and I apply some haldi and kumkum, and then some rice grains, and then I put flowers, and I sort of encircle them with a garland, and then I go around it about 3 times. All this I do mentally. And she's a goddess for me. My Guru is a goddess for me. And for me, I think, yes, she's a goddess for me, and I install her here. And sometimes I also make her sort of be seated here, so then I can see her. And she had a very particular way of sitting on a chair with her hands spread like this, and she would sit comfortably. So that's the image I carry here. So some familiar image, I hold it here sometime. And of course, sometimes I have her in my heart, but mostly I think I place her feet here and her small image here. That's how I install her. But you can choose whether you want to place her in your heart or place your Guru in your mind, in your heart. But the idea should be, when you're meditating, is communication with your Guru. That is the main thing that you need to. Suppose there is some problem in your life. Yes, then you talk to your Guru in meditation. Just that you don't have to use much of your sense organs. Let just the mind communicate with the Guru, and talk your problems out. And normally there are certain prayers now we know that they are fond of. The Gurus are also fond of certain type of prayers, certain type of food. We know them. We know it because we are in touch with them. So you try to offer those sort of prayers, and then do what you think your Guru would have liked you to do. And talk to her and talk to him, whoever is your Guru and deity. For me, it is Umanand Saraswati. She is my Guru. So I normally, with my eyes closed or sometimes with my eyes open, I interact with her. I look at her picture, and then I interact with her, and I say, Gurudeva, this is my problem. If you can please help me to solve it. And then I try to take some sort of prayers against my request. And it somehow works. And I think out of 10, 11 times I think she she comes to help me and rescue me. So it's a very sweet feeling. So in meditation, try and interact with her. Don't worry about where actually the Kundalini is going, or don't worry about all that. You just interact with your Guru. And of course, the rest, the Kundalini Ma will rise to Shiva. Don't worry about that. But first, you learn to interact with your Guru, and with your eyes closed. And my God, I'm listening to Sant Tukaram's Abhanga. The songs are written, the OV written by Sant Tukaram. At the height of devotion, these saints have risen. Normal man very rarely can reach it. And they are all the time, they're only saying Pandurang, 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 Pandurang. It's the name of their God. Some deity they love. Of course, it's our Vittal also. But I just wanted to say somebody they look upon as their deity. So, but there's a non-stop, a non-stop. I mean, it's a beautiful way of like in present day generation, every one of us say money, 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 money. Yes, like that. Santa Tukaram and all used to say Panduranga, 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 Panduranga. Now, I'm just listening to the Abhang of Santa Tukaram. Uh, it's a height very rarely people can reach. Very rarely people can reach. But let's just offer our salutations to these great saints. Okay, how should one offer respect to Guru? Do not look upon Guru as a person. I told you, look upon a Guru. Nor my Guru, they used to say, nor look upon Guru as mother, father, brother and friend and all. A master, one who would look upon with reverence. Guru is Lord's Shakti. Guru is the very power of God, the ultimate reality. Guru is the very power of God. It has got this power has got the ability to give you knowledge, to help you to undertake a task, to help you to accomplish it, to help you to feel good about it, to help you to finally have peace with it, and to make you feel that life is worth living. But this communication with Guru and having a Guru in life, I think that's a graced thing. That is the very graced thing in life for mankind. Having a Guru in life. It's a powerful system. I mean, it's created by the saints must have created it, or must have designed it, or the gods must have liked it, and it is now just a common feature to us. I mean, people now know that there should be a Guru in your life, and it's a very beautiful thing. This warning about not establishing any human relationship is necessary, for otherwise such love for Guru would develop weaknesses such as jealousies, anger, wrong association by thought. Yes. There is a possibility that if you end up with seeing a Guru as a person, when we end up with Madhura Bhakti, suppose you have a Lord Shiva, a very charismatic and handsome form of Lord, it can end up into a bhakti like Gopi's bhakti for Krishna. Of course, my Gurudev used to say, even if you fight, but fight over Guru. Guru is what you should have for. I mean, but you should not fight with Guru. Don't fight with Guru. Of course, sometimes when the devotee is very disappointed, they say, we are not going to talk to you. Now we are not going to talk to you. But this right comes when you really love And when you really love the ultimate, then probably you have the right sometimes, not often, sometimes you have a right to say, okay, now I'm not going to talk to you because my work is not done. I'll tell you a very beautiful story here. I'll tell you a very beautiful story here. One person, he brings Lord Krishna's statue and installs it in the house and prays day and night for his work to be done. He says, I need some help from you, God, and this work has to be done. Unfortunately, after a month also, there's no change for as his work is concerned. There's no progress, there's no change. And so then one day he goes to the market and he gets attracted to another idol of Ram. So he picks up Ram and brings it home and removes Krishna from there and keeps him aside. Then now he's got Ram in front. Now he says, no, he hasn't done my job, so you better do it for me now. So he starts worshipping Ram now. And then one day when he realizes that he's burned the fragrance of some sticks of fragrance, and the fumes, like small fumes are going towards his, fragrance is going towards the earlier god, the Krishna who was kept aside. So he says, no, you haven't done any of my work. And so he takes cotton and he plugs the nose of that idol. And then, of course, he hears a laughter. And it is, who has laughed now? It is Krishna who laughs. He manifests. So he says, you at least believe that I'm here and I'm smelling. I'm going to take the smell of the fragrant sticks. So that faith in you that I'm here. So this is how we should love Guru. And so at the moment we look upon them as an energy, then probably, of course, sometimes you need to have him as your friend, as your person. But whenever there is some sort of a complaining attitude, then you try to minimize all these personal relations so that you don't cross your line. Let me just put it frankly, don't cross your line. Be as humble as you can, be as loving as you can. Well, what are the different spiritual forms of our body? There are 3 bodies, the gross, the subtle and the causal. 3 forms of the body, the gross, the subtle and the causal. Now the gross body, which needs the supply of food for its survival. We are aware of this. The subtle body is mind, of course, which survives on thoughts. It survives on thoughts. Your mind needs thoughts. So mind, intellect, these form the subtle bodies, and the causal, the need of which is the deciding capacity. So causal is something which is beyond this mind and intellect, where it is probably I would call it consciousness totally. I would call it consciousness. So it's the body, the mind and intellect and consciousness. So at conscious level, whatever it is, it's a causal. Yeah, we are now I'm trying to tell people that learn to live by the inner voice. Learn to live by the inner voice. Normally, whenever you are doing an activity, you tend to end up with 2 voices. One voice is that which has asked you to start a job because of your liking. You like something, so you start doing it. If it is a pure act, if it's a good act, you won't hear the second voice. You won't hear the second voice. The inner voice you won't hear. But if it is a wrong one, if the act is wrong and you are going to make a mistake, then the second inner voice comes in. It comes in and it says, are you sure? Is this right? I don't think you should do it. So this sort of an inner check which comes in is the voice of the Lord. The moment it comes in, It comes in the form of a doubt for whatever activity you are doing. It comes in to check the activity. It makes you stop from doing something immediately. So try to stay put back. And still, if you feel and there is no other check coming up again, then you can continue with your activity. But if the check you have stopped from here, it may even manifest in the form of a person next to you who will just come in and says, I don't think you should go for it. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of Ravan. We know the story of Ravan who had abducted Sita. Now, of course, in the heart he knew he was wrong. But what veiled that thinking was his anger, his authoritative assertiveness, and his desire. All these were stronger. So he refused to listen to the inner voice, which must have told him, of course, it must have told him that abducting somebody's wife is wrong. I mean, he was a scholar, he was a pandit, he was a devotee of Lord Shiva, he couldn't have thought so wrong. But somehow it didn't strike him, or it was not strong enough to stop him from doing it. Either he was angry because of his sister's complaints that Ram and Ravan had rejected her for marriage, or he was overall a man of anger. So he felt being a king and that I could get what I want. I should get what I want. This is a very a difficult way of living in life. I mean, if you are so strong mentally that I'll get what I want, then even if it's wrong, no. Get what is right, yes, but not what is wrong. Anyway, so the inner voice he had curbed. Now this had manifested a second time in the form of his wife, Mandodari. She tries to warn him. She says, you're not doing right, return her, return Sita to Ram. He didn't stop there. He didn't hear the first time. It appeared in the form of Vibhishan. Vibhishan too stopped him from doing it. He tried to tell him, don't go against Ram. He is a supreme ultimate reality. So the warnings, the inner voice did manifest in other forms. It keeps manifesting. It keeps manifesting. If you are really wrong, God is kind enough to keep manifesting as an inner voice in form of various forms around you, people around you. And if you still reject, of course then you have to pay the price for it. So remember, this inner voice is something which manifests all over near us through people around us. So it is like, these are the causal form, the consciousness. If it tries to appear through you, you don't allow it to appear. It manifests in the form of your friends, your family, your people. And if you still reject, then it comes as an obstacle. But if you still overcome, then ultimately you have to pay a certain price for your decisions. So consciousness is something, you should be able to listen to it. How does one judge whether the food for all three bodies is right or not? If you're healthy, that means what you are having as food is good. If you're not healthy, obviously something has gone wrong. So it's a simple formula. If your physical health is good, that means your diet for your body is good. If your mental fitness also. It's very important that you have a good mind. I mean, of course, if it's a depressed mind, if it's an angry mind, and if it's a frustrated mind, it's a weeping mind, or it's a cribbing mind, something is not, the food given to it, the thought process is not right. You can't change situations all the time. Sometimes you need to change the approach to the situation. Sometimes life is not easy. It won't give you everything. You should be able to say, all right, everybody doesn't get everything. Let me deal with it. Let me have what I have. I mean, learn to look at the same situation in new light. In new light. And finally, if you even consider that a new situation might be the will of the Lord, then it becomes easier for us to deal with it. So you've got to learn to deal with these situations. So how does one judge whether the food for all three bodies is right? Your health should show fitness, your spirit should reflect joy. If you are happy, that means you are feeding your mind, intellect, everything correct. But it is, as long as there is no inner voice which is telling you, don't do it. Okay? So today we have covered 61 to 64, 4 questions we have covered, and we will be continuing. So this is in English. This is the 17th video, and we'll be completing. We have quite a long journey still, but I assume we'll try and finish it by the end of this year. This text should get over by the end of this year. So meanwhile, this is Swami Radhikanand from Pune. We'll keep in touch. Thank you.